What's up, guys? Welcome to Gwhisky. My name's Jeff. Now, this is a channel where I offer my thoughts and opinions on a specific whiskey, and if you stick around to the end, I'll be giving it a score as well. If that sounds interesting, hit subscribe down below. And with that out of the way, why don't we jump into our review? Today, we're looking at Smokehead High Voltage. Stick around. So we've got a mystery whiskey with us today. We don't actually know where this stuff comes from. We do know that it's a single malt. That is from Islay. We know it comes in a cask strength, and we don't know much more than that. We don't know what distillery this actually comes from. Now, there's actually a few bottlings out there like this, or a few expressions out there like this. One's called Islay, another one's called Finlagen. There's probably a few more. Generally speaking, they are pretty well received. As I mentioned earlier, this one's called Smokehead High Voltage, and apparently the art design was inspired by the ass tattoo of a middle-aged biker. Now, the advantage of bottling something that's peated specifically at a younger age or without an age statement is that peat really works at that younger age. You have a lot more intensity, a lot more powerful flavors in there. But there is young and then there's too young. I can handle youth. It does work best in peat, but a lot of bottlers, a lot of expressions take it a little bit too far, and those expressions come off hot, papery, and a little bit rough. And I have had whiskeys similar to this, not this one specifically, but similar to this that I did not enjoy at all for exactly those reasons. Hot, young, rough. What they did is they took a whiskey that wasn't ready, they slapped a sherry finish on it, they put it out at cask strength, sent it out into the world, and there you go. And like I said, I've tried quite a few bottles that are similar to this that I didn't really enjoy. They tend to be misses more than they are hits. So it really hasn't been a style of whiskey that I've been interested in exploring lately. But I had an outing maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago, and a buddy of mine showed up with a bottle of this. Now, I'd never tried a Smokehead, first of all, and second of all, tell you what, you show up with anything, especially a single malt, and you put it in front of me, I'm damn well going to try it, aren't I? So, tried it out, and I thought, tell you what, kind of interesting. Later that night, went home, checked some reviews on this one, and it turns out this one fares pretty well with the online reviewers. Now, to be fair, you put out any peated whiskey at cask strength, and there's going to be a bunch of peat heads out there that voted up to the stratosphere, so that's not always an indicator of quality, especially when it comes to peated whiskeys, but again, it had my interest. So here we are a few weeks later, I've got a bottle on the go, spent some time with it. So yeah, why don't we hop into a review of this one, see what it's all about, and in the meantime, if you can kindly leave a like down below, that'd be greatly appreciated. Now for our specs, this is a cask strength expression, comes in at 58%, so not too shabby there. With regards to chill filtration, I actually don't know. Obviously it doesn't mention it on the bottle or the label. I couldn't find much online about it, so if you know anything about that, do let me know down in the comments. I am kind of curious. Finally, with regards to color, they don't say too much on the internet, definitely nothing here on the label either, but if you check those German websites, they will tell you that this is indeed naturally colored. So we've got 2 out of 3 here, possibly 3 out of 3. I'll take it. So we've got a tinted bottle here, so you can't really make out the color of the whiskey. Like I said, there's nothing about chill filtration or coloration. We don't know that either. And obviously, we don't even know what distillery this is from, so not a lot of info on the bottle. What can you do? We have some tasting notes on the back, and that's about it. But just for like the look of it, like, what a fucking look, huh? I love it, 4 out of 5. Now, of course, a lot of you out there are not going to like this presentation, and I totally get it. It's not horribly tacky. It's like, I don't know, it's like Crystal Head Vodka and Fireball Whiskey had an illegitimate child in an alley behind a biker bar. Now, that being said, you know, a lot of whiskey bottles offer us an elegant, gentlemanly sophistication, and a lot of whiskey bottles are this whiskey bottle. I like it, and I want to buy a motorcycle. Now for our nose. Big, smoke, ash, sweet peat, malt, caramel, roasted nuts, motor oil, charred meat. I like it. Now for our palate. Okay, so big, but surprisingly smooth. Not quite as burny as I thought it would be considering the ABV. Starts off with some mineral notes. They bring along some measured but intense smoke and ash. Quite nice. You have some black pepper in here, elderberry, and some red fruits. Good hit of sherry with this as well. All right, now for the finish. All right. So things are starting to mellow out a little bit here. You have that sweet peat note from the nose. That one's creeping in. Got some black pepper in here. Cherries, but like maraschino cherries. Maybe kind of like cherry coke in here as well. Some licorice. A little bit of paper youth, but nothing over the top. Good length, good intensity to this finish. So obviously this is a huge whiskey, big flavors in here, definitely one for the peat heads. This is a proper peat bomb. Now, it's great if you enjoy drinking the opposite of subtlety. Massive flavors in here. Honestly, the whiskey tastes like the bottle looks. And I gotta say, I do kind of respect the marketing here, because you take one look at this bottle, that's pretty much the whiskey you're signing up for. This whiskey is basic, it's loud, it's kind of unhinged, but I'll tell you what, it is a lot of fun. Now, by no means is this like a great whiskey. There's not a lot of sophistication here. It's got all the subtlety of a brick, but I can't say I don't have fun drinking it. Now, this is going to be a younger whiskey, and it shows. You get a little bit of that papery note, a little bit of that heat, but luckily it's nothing too over the top, kind of canceled out by those rich, intense, peaty notes. Now, that's coming from someone who's pretty sensitive to those things. I thought this one was okay, definitely manageable. A lot of the rougher corners of this whiskey are kind of rounded out. I think the sherry helps temper some of that youth. Of course, it is still young and it shows, but like I said, very manageable. Overall, I think you're getting a measured but very intense hit of peat, smoke, and ash with a nice complement of sherry. Now, I really didn't expect too much from this whiskey, but I was pleasantly surprised. It gives me a lot of the things I want from a peat bomb, very few of the things that I don't. Certainly you do need to like peat or peat bombs if you want to drink this. If you don't, stay away from this. With regards to what this is, I don't know. A lot of people speculate that it's Lagavulin. Kind of makes sense to me, but I don't know. Then again, a lot of people think a lot of things are Lagavulin. They say it about this, they say it about Islay, Finlagen, a few others out there, which is entirely possible. I do think it's strange because you never see Lagavulin in IBs or independent bottles, but apparently Lagavulin is okay selling it to these guys as a regular expression. Like I said, very possible, just a little bit strange. Now, it might actually be the power of suggestion at work, but I do kind of taste the Lagavulin DNA in this, albeit a very young one. Of course, that's all speculation anyway. None of it matters because we don't know. Anyway, you guys are waiting for a score. My score for this is going to be 84. I do like it. I do like a good peat bomb. Like I said, I'm often concerned that it's going to be too young or too hot, especially with these no age stated ones. Luckily, that's not the case here. It is young, it is hot, but for me, it's manageable. I think if you like this kind of whiskey, you're going to like this one. Another thing I like is the presentation. I gotta say, it's tacky, it's cheesy, but it's so much fun, and it's one of those rare instances where the bottle looks like the whiskey tastes, which I just think is kind of cool. At the end of the day, it's not a whiskey to approach with any kind of snobbery. Just sit back and enjoy your peat bomb. I think our value here is going to be pretty good. This is an affordable bottle. That's actually one of the things that gave me pause. I saw a single malt from Islay at 58% with a reasonable price tag, and that doesn't happen too often, so I was kind of like, what's the catch here? Luckily, no real catch. It's decent stuff. I don't think it's a whiskey I'll come back to too often, but when I do, it'll be fun. I think if you like unapologetic peat monsters, this is going to work for you. It won't break the bank. Big flavors for a fair price. I do like this more than Islay or Finlagen or any of those other ones that I've tried. The key word for this one really is fun. I must have said it 20 times in this review because that's what it is. Alright, that'll be it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. As always, hit subscribe down below, click that little bell icon, and of course, smash the like. And I do want to hear from you. Have you tried Smokehead High Voltage? Have you tried any of the other Smokeheads? What were your thoughts? Finally, down in the comments, let me know what you want to see me review next, and I'll keep it in mind for my upcoming videos. Bye, guys.